Hello and welcome to the second part of composing our tender and intimate cue. Again, I'm going to use the pause button to reduce the amount of time this takes on a YouTube video, so we'll see how that goes. What I'm trying to do in the second part is take what we've got already from part one, all the different layers. We're going to spread it out over about 1.5 to 2 minutes to create a full cue with an intro, outro, and some edit points on the way. We'll see how it goes, and the first thing I'm probably going to lay out is the piano. So, see you in a bit. Change of plan straight away. Instead of spreading out the piano, what I did was started muting different parts and decided this would be a good intro. So we just got that synth, bass and piano. The piano I've changed to cinematic soft piano, which likes ringing out, the synth bit. What I've done is actually put Air Studios on it, but I'm going to get rid of that now because I'll want to add that later. And this sequence pad has already got quite a nice echo to it. The bass is again going to need some reverb. Then what I thought I would do is bring in the strings. These are just, they've been moved along and duplicated. So we get this. And I've brought those down in volume as well, so they sit behind the piano. And what I was just experimenting about when I suddenly remembered, ooh, let's summarize this for you guys, was I got the cello leader from BBC SO. I haven't automated anything yet here, so let's just make sure that's loud enough. So we've got a melody line. What I now need to do is bring that to an edit point. So as we go up here, what we might need is a bit of a swell cymbal percussion into that and leave it hanging. Probably won't have that final bass note in there actually. Yeah, we'll take that out. And would we want to might move that up an octave. And then come back in there. So when I've added a bit of percussion and built up a sort of B section, possibly without the piano, or we'll simplify the piano, I think, for the B section, bring it down a bit. Righto, see you in a bit. For the B section, I've slightly changed my mind. Instead of using the piano for it, which was the original idea, I remembered, of course, we programmed in this strummed acoustic, which is kind of stands alone on its own as a part, and is nice to have in as a change of pace. So as we come out of this, I've put a little drum fill in, and we're bringing the drums and the guitar, so 2 new elements. That is then going to build, so using Logic Drummer, what we're going to do is up the complexity of the fills as we go along. It's going to need some sort of ending, but that gets us to about 1 minute 50, so we're between 1:30 and 2 minutes. That's what we were aiming for. I know we are going to get the piano back in. If we look at that a bit more widely, we're going to need the piano for those last 2 sections. The bass is going to stay the same. We'll have a look at the strings and whether to bring this cello melody back in on top of the guitar, which I think is entirely likely. So I'll have a look at that and see you in a bit. So what I've done is added in BBCSO horns, and they are now sort of taking the lead in this second out section. Above the cello, the drums are coming in as we've already discussed. The guitars go to the end, as does everything else. I've just tagged on a final button ending, so this is basically hitting the C minor chord at the end. I had to duplicate the strummed acoustic because, well, I could have done a key switch change to pattern B, but just to make sure it's correct. Otherwise, it was actually playing an extra note, even though I've tried to make this as short as possible. If I put it on that one, it rings out for a second time. So you get that second hit, whereas on that patch, just the one. I'm going to go through, automate the cello and the horns now, and as you can see, I've ignored using the damage loops that we had in initially. Don't think they really work or don't really need them. I'll also be adding the MIDI out fade as well. There's the end of part 2, composing this little emotional cue. All I've done is just then added in the stereo out automation so that it definitely fades to 0 by the time, or negative infinity by the time we finish our recording. That was about it, apart from the automation that I have now added in for, where's they gone? So we've got dynamics, which is on the mod wheel, and expression for the cello and the horns as well. Give them a bit more realism. Shall we have a listen to what it's ended up like? And hopefully by the time we get this on YouTube, it's going to be a lot shorter than the maybe that was an hour and a half, 2 hours to put that together. Anyway, see you in part 3. Here's what this has ended up with at the moment.